Then in front of you, you'll see we already have some of our appetizers sitting out, which you will assemble, and then you can snack on those while we make our main course. And our main course today is our lemon thyme chicken pasta. It's a very light, yet very delicious, flavorful pasta dish with chicken, except for the one.
Say it's chicken for me.
Exactly.
I'm allergic.
Yeah. So before we get started, I'd like you all to just raise a glass, toast to a night of fun, and learning some new recipes tonight.
Cheers.
Again.
Cheers.
Okay, so first we're going to start, you did that, I'm going to grab our mascarpone so we can start with our dessert. Now, how many of you have ever made homemade lasagna? A couple. So you're familiar with ricotta cheese. How many of you have ever eaten lasagna?
No.
Okay, so you're all familiar with ricotta cheese in some way. Instead of ricotta, for our quick tiramisu, we're instead using mascarpone. So I want everyone to grab their spoon, first of all, and just take a small taste. This is unsweetened, straight up mascarpone. A little bit will do you, because it's pretty rich. It's pretty similar to ricotta, little different in texture, and by that it means it's a bit more buttery texture. But by itself, it doesn't have a whole lot of flavor.
No.
Kind of like cream cheese texture.
So did you do anything to it?
Nope, this is just straight mascarpone.
Yeah, it's like butter.
Mm-hmm. So for our meal though, what we'll be doing is adding confectioner's sugar, powdered sugar, to our mascarpone cheese, and then we'll be putting that into our cups to make our individual tiramisu cups. So inside each cup here, you'll see a little label. I want you to take that out. Do we have some pens?
Yep. I'll pass around some pens.
And you're going to make your own cup, which will then stick in the fridge. So I just want you to write your name on your label and stick it on the bottom or on the side so you get your own cup.
Put hers on there too.
Maybe I'll take 8 years.
I'll give you guys one and I'll give you guys one.
You're welcome. And while you're doing that, I'm going to make our ladyfinger marinade. So tiramisu is a dish, like I said, that most people get when they go out, but they never make it home because the traditional tiramisu recipe, you're using double boilers and you're separating eggs so you just get the yolks, and it's a lot of ingredients and it's pretty labor intensive. But what we're doing today is a quick tiramisu instead. We're using our Espresso Balsamic instead of espresso. Normally, if you're making traditional tiramisu, you'd have to make a pot of coffee, cool the coffee, use that for dipping. Well, we're using instead our Espresso Balsamic. Balsamic vinegar is one of my favorite things to add to any type of sweet dish because balsamic vinegar is vinegar, and vinegar is a glycemic index lowering food. So anytime you eat vinegar with something that is sweet or something that your body will convert to sugar, like fruit, yogurt, or in this case, mascarpone and powdered sugar, the vinegar will slow that process down so your body does not turn it off to sugar as quickly.
Might become hypoglycemic.
Why is it called espresso?
That's the flavor.
Oh,
Yep,
okay.
it's Espresso Balsamic. So, Espresso Balsamic instead of coffee or espresso, and you always have to have a little bit of Kahlua, coffee liqueur.
Oh, I don't know.
Now, the recipes that we're teaching today, you'll get a folder which will include these recipes to take home.
Oh, I'm so happy.
And I do want you to know that they're all starters, meaning the recipes that we do today, you may find that you think, oh, I really wish this had more, or oh, my family would not eat this unless it has. So that's what today is all about. Today is about learning some new recipes and then finding out how to tweak them for your family so that they'll eat them. So one of the things that I'm doing is putting in for each a normal serving of Kahlua for this, but you may find that your family likes more or less. And as we go through, you'll find the same thing in all of our dishes.
I think my family liked Irish whiskey in there.
Okay, so it's pretty easy to assemble. Does everyone have their cup labeled?
Yes.
Okay, let's give these all a nice little swirl. So since you're making your own cup, you don't have to worry too much about gloves. You get your own there, perfect. And you could make two. I would just stick those onto your cups so that we can stick them in the fridge. Here, they're stickers. So that way you know you're eating yours. And she'll know she's eating yours too.
And if anybody wants to, we have somebody that didn't show up and approved.
Oh.
Oh, so there'll be a
You
little
guys
extra.
tiramisu?
So I first need a volunteer. You did talk about man muscles. I do need a volunteer to start stirring.
Go ahead, Miss.
You want to help with that?
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna get you a nice heavy wooden spoon. I can bring it there unless you want wanna come around, it's probably easier to stand,
Okay.
since
No,
this is
thank
nice
you.
and rich.
The wine is wonderful.
Move this over. So, you'll feel that it's like butter, okay?
Wow.
So whenever you're mixing a powder into anything else, you always wanna go slow, small steps, whether you're mixing by hand, whether you're using a hand mixer or a stand mixer or a KitchenAid, as most people call it. Otherwise, you'll get lots of nice dust all over the place. So you can do a little folding action, you can do a little scooping, perfect. Now the point of the powdered sugar into the mascarpone is just to sweeten it up a bit. For 4 people, you would use about 2 cups of mascarpone cheese, so about 2 containers from the specialty cheese counter, and you'd use about a half a cup, give or take, of powdered sugar. The other thing I want you to know about my recipes is the hardest thing about teaching these classes is actually coming up with the quantity for recipes, because a lot of my cooking is by taste. If I taste something at home, I think, oh, that needs a little bit more garlic. I'll add a little bit more garlic oil or a little bit more olive garlic salt. If I think it needs more lemon, I'll add a little lemon balsamic or lemon oil depending on the dish. So one of my favorite things to do is actually sit down, a week before the class and start thinking about the actual recipe. I'm gonna put in a little bit more. So you can see the sugar is smoothing it out of it too. As he's stirring, he's also warming it a bit, which is helping.
Also sweating a little bit?
Yeah, too. You're the one who talked about man fingers. Now, if you were to use an electric mixer for this, you'd want to beat for about a minute at most. If you mix too much with an electric mixer, it will kind of take on a butter consistency, which is even thicker than what it started with, and you don't want that. So you want to mix it just enough to get it in, and that's about all you need. Looking good. I think you're perfect.
Well, thank
Looks
you.
good.
How's it still?
That's delicious too. All right, I think you've got it. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Volunteer number 1, I love it. All right. So we have to layer our tiramisu cups. So in your cup, that's what we're gonna start with. You'll wanna grab that, and you have 5 lady fingers. We're gonna use 3 first, and then we'll top with the remaining 2. So I'll use this just kind of as a demo. What you wanna do, you're sharing, so if you're friends, that's fine. If you don't wanna dip your fingers in that, I of course would use a fork. You'll wanna take your lady finger, you'll dip both sides and then quickly stick it in the cup, and you'll wanna put 3 in the cup to kind of line the sides. We'll be filling the middle with all the mascarpone cheese, and then we'll put a couple more on top. Okay?
Gotcha.
There you go.
Dip both
Perfect.
sides?
Dip both sides, stick it in your cup. And you guys can share this one. We'll just move some of these out of the way.
Feel like there was some.
That was
Yep.
good to be around or something.
These are just lady fingers sponge cakes. You can usually find them in the fresh bakery section. They have them at pretty much every market. They don't often have much though. So if you're cooking for more than 8 to 10 people, you might want to go a couple days in advance because they might only have 2 or 3 packs, and you'll need them all.
And you said how many?
I put 3 in there. Yeah, you could fit 3 or 4, whatever will fit in the bottom. I would say if you could get 4 in, that's probably ideal. That way you'll have a nice interior. Good. And I'm going to come around with the mascarpone. Now, the easiest way to dish this, yes, is for you to hold, and I'm going to do the 2 spatula method. Hold and scoop. Oops.
Call that the Kia sound.
Thank you, thank you.
Check that out.
Let that settle, see how that goes. Now, since this is your own, you can use your spoon, you can use your fork, kind of squish it down a little bit so that I can come back and top it more if you need to. Now we are going to stick this in the fridge, so it will firm up quite a bit. I would use your spoon and just kind of wiggle it down in the middle there. My favorite way to serve these is in martini glasses. They have a much wider neck, so the presentation looks a little bit different. There's a little bit more space in between. You can usually put in a little bit more filling.
That worked.
But if you don't have that many martini glasses and you are doing a small to medium dinner party and you want to make this, any type of ramekin or little rocks glass like this will do.
What's in tiramisu normal?
Egg yolks, heavy Use a double boiler to cook the eggs. Espresso instead of espresso balsamic. A lot more sugar, usually granulated sugar and confectioners or powdered sugar. Many more ingredients. Changed it, right? So if you taste a little bit of your mascarpone now, with that little bit of powdered sugar, you'll taste the complete difference. Did you make her stew? Oh, can't let her miss out on dessert.
Oh, no.
Maybe
Isn't
that's
it
why
all
she's
of ours?
coming late, so she can just.
She's gonna let you do all the
Take
cooking.
over.
That's a smart idea. Get there about 20 late.
And by then, most of it's done.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see if you need any more. Can you fit any more in there?
A little bit.
A little bit, might as well. You'll want to leave room for a lady finger or two on top,
yours
so
looks
we don't want it to
pretty.
be too overflowing. But I'd say.
Oh, I like going for every little chicky finger she can get in there.
Oh, you can use some more for sure.
You did a nice job. getting that.
She really did press hers down, just like I did. Got a little on your finger there.
That's okay.
Oh, you'll have to lick it off, darn it.
Yeah, well, I'll take a little bit
Tastes
more,
like
please.
cheesecake.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. Thank you.
Good?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Let's get her some more. Perfect. And let's get you some more as well. Alright, so then we have two toppers. You'll want to take one or two, however many lady fingers you have left, and whatever will fit in your glass. You'll want to dip it again and put it on the top.
I have some more juice if you want.
And then if you really want, you can take a little bit, if you have room in your cup, these are getting pretty full, you can take a little sample. We can leave these out, so when you're eating, if you want, you can add a little bit more sauce as we eat them, but we'll put them in the fridge. Last thing we're gonna do though is our topper. Have you guys ever used a flour sifter before?
Yes.
It's a very inexpensive kitchen tool, which will save you a ton of time. I'm not a huge baker because you usually have to measure everything when you bake, and it's really not my favorite. But for things like this, you just can't beat it. So I'm gonna have you start first. Grab, and you're just gonna do a little on top. This is a mix of unsweetened cocoa powder and cinnamon.
Yeah.
There you go. Let's put it on here instead. You can also, you can give it a little shake, and if that's not enough, then you can do this.
Careful.
There you go. Oh, see, it just took a like touch.
There, just
Hold on, let's switch.
Not a man touch.
There you go. See, back to the man fingers again.
Lady
You
fingers.
better put your finger out.
There you go.
Check, when is that?
That's probably. Yeah, you do.
If you need any extra, just let me know.
Oh.
I did the same thing, shoot.
Here you go.
Yeah,
Cheers, Tom. So now you know that
That's a
flour
real
sifters
saver
do
there,
work
Pam.
quickly.
Yeah.
I like touching.
I have a really
There you
little
go.
one.
You're already shaking it, you're good.
You
Do you?
Sweet.
A smaller one?
I'm good.
She's used this before. Can we put that under? There you go.
Long
We'll
time
save some
ago.
of the mess.
Long time ago.
I just want to
And
try
guess
it.
what? I don't
As you
have
can
one
tell,
that
Pam,
anymore.
I've never used one before.
Hey, there's a first time for everything, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Oh,
you.
so like O.J. Simpson gloves.
We do have larger. Those are those probably won't work for you. I'm gonna steal this too.
You must have quit.
Yeah.
Put that under. Good. Little touch goes a long way. Oh, that's good too. And then let's do
You
yours.
don't fit it with these. No, I'm good.
Perfect. Thank you.
Oh, that is perfect. You're a
We've
master
done this
sifter.
before, huh?
He might have done this before. Okay, so let's put these on here. We're gonna stick them in the fridge to just chill while we're cooking everything else. Thank you.
In the back. Wait, is this in the back?
That's the one who's not coming.
I mean, I didn't put this up in somebody wanted it. Oh.
Actually, I don't need a label, Pam, but
We'll know which one is yours.
Hopefully you didn't eat yours. Oh, no, it's under here.
On that.
no, I have a label, but it's quite obvious actually.
You got that? Want me to open the fridge?
Nope, I got it.
Okay. So that is our first course, which will actually be our last